look the part, but let's see some of your moves.
Feeling free and it feels so right. Oh, time to do the things I like. Gonna see a princess, everything's alright. Oh, no job but an answer to. Ain't a fixture in the palace zoo. No, and since the carbonite's off me, I'm living life now that I'm free. Yeah, time to get myself together. Now I got myself together. Now I made it through the weather. Better days are gonna get better. I'm so happy the carbonite is gone. I'm moving on. I'm so happy that it's over now. The pain is gone. I'm putting on my shades to cover up my eyes. I'm jumping in my ride. I'm heading.
There we go. Looks like we're live.
There we go. Is that right? Let's see if we got. Oh, there. Now we have a nice Obi-Wan background. All right, so you said your helmets. So anyone joining us, we were going to talk toys. I had a short stream running that went horribly wrong, and now we're back. And I don't know if we'll have any viewers now because all our viewers think we're done. But you got your TK kit, and other than the you said the helmet is cracked.
Mm-hmm.
Where at the chin? Can you hold it up? Or are you too sad to hold it up?
Yeah, I can grab it. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so it's at first when I saw it, I was like, okay, this is kind of repairable, but it's come on.
It's like bright out.
Can I get it?
Yeah, that's a little long.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to message Walt and see if I can get a replacement or something.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say if it was a short one, but the last thing you want to do that's a you don't want a cracked helmet in the front. It looks good though.
Yeah.
Hold that up.
I mean,
that has some nice detail to it.
If I can get it to where it's not so. Yeah, I mean, the whole kit is like, I'm shocked how crisp the lines are.
Yeah, well, that's what's nice because before a Novos came along, the kits were getting really soft in their pulls. So it's really nice that they kind of got back. You know, it helped them get back to the right thing. So, but
yeah, everything else looked good though. I mean, my biggest concern is it's very big, like it's large.
Oh, you mean size wise?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you'll grow into it. Just eat your vegetables.
Right. Yeah. The forearms. I mean, I know the forearms are supposed to be a little big, but I mean, I've got very small forearms.
Well, you trim them depending on the forearms are weird because you don't want to lose any detail, but start trimming them in the back and then work your way to don't trim much off the front if you can get more off the back because you're not going to see that return.
Mm-hmm.
If you trim them too far up here, then they'll look giant on your hand. You want them you want your hands to kind of have to squeeze into them.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean, the one that I got, because I got one assembled. I mean, it fits fairly well.
Yeah.
It looks and feels big.
Well, and you can put so depending on what kind of foam you have, I've used the foam from the square insulation. It's adhesive on one side for I think it's like for putting around windows or air conditioners or something. Or you can just glue in some foam, like some soft foam in there that you can get your arms in. Or some guys will just put their arm in and then shove foam in it, just so it's not like swimming around on your arm.
Right.
But you got one arm done. I mean.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I had to start somewhere.
What's your dad think of the whole?
Well, my dad doesn't like the state of my floor at the moment, but
All right.
he's excited to see it when it's done.
Now you save that plastic, save all that plastic, because put it in a bag or something. All those strips. Because have you ever made sludge?
No, but I learned about sludge for the first time today.
Right. So you can save that. So if you would have a mishap, like your cod piece crack or something, you can back it with that sludge, and that so keep a hold of this, at least some of it, so that because the sludge works with the ABS plastic. It will not work with 3D printed plastic unless it's ABS. So I tried it with PLA. Someone told me it didn't work, and I was like, I don't believe them, and I should have believed them. So
yeah. Now I was reading the CRL.
Yeah.
My kidney and butt plate came together, just like the
Right.
ab and the cod piece.
Right. That's how mine is on my FX kit. Mine is
Okay.
one piece. The suit of mine you wore is one piece. So
Right, in the CRL it says that they have to be two separate pieces. So
yes.
I don't know. I'm still kind of weary about joining the 501st just because I like my costumes to have my own personality in them.
Well,
I'm still kind of weary about joining the 501st just because I like my costumes to have my own personality in them.
well,
I'm still kind of weary about.
I got an echo in here.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I'm like listening. Where's it at? Oh, here we go. I got it. I had a window open. Sorry. I still can't get the chats from Facebook for some reason. So, but yeah, I mean, I think the benefits of joining the 501st outweigh any apprehension you have personally from someone who has been in it in its good graces and its bad graces at certain times in all the years I've been in. But I do understand what you're saying. But the nice thing about their costumes is none of their costume standards are making you make an inferior costume.
Right.
It's not like they're saying you have to have it a certain way that makes it look inferior. But the butt plate, see my butt plate on my TK, since that wasn't in the CRLs when I was in, I don't have to remove it. To have it changed. But the butt plate connection is kind of a pain. But
Yeah, I guess my biggest I don't know why it seems odd to me because for Centurion, like the level 3 approval,
yeah.
there can't be any gap.
Yeah, see the Centurion I've met very few people that have had Centurion, and on the TK, not on all of them, but on the TK Centurion, it's almost like you have to have the correct armor and the correct body type to get. Now they would never admit that, but a lot of those things where it says no gap, that means you have to fit that armor perfectly. But I've seen guys attached, like mine's attached with 3 different elastic straps on my Sand Trooper. I've seen guys attach them with all different things. But I'm pulling up the CRL. I'm gonna see if I can put it on the screen because it's funny. So let's see. Stormtrooper, are you doing New Hope?
Yeah, New Hope stunt.
Okay. Yeah, so let me see if I can do my fancy screen work here. So people can see. There we go. There. So that's the. How is it? There. Okay. We don't have any chat coming through. So let's see here. Helmet. Blah blah blah. Shoulder straps. There we go. Back plate. Okay. Kidney armor. Separate kidney armor. Posterior armor. Yeah. But see, when you separate, I mean, see my arrow here?
Mm-hmm.
When you separate them and connect them between the connections you have here, and you're thin enough that you should have a good rounded edge here. when you put your elastic in there along with your belt, it's going to hold it snug. Plus the crotch snaps.
Right.
And you'll probably appreciate that because that does give you a little more movement. But yeah, and then here's the belt. It doesn't give a good picture of the belt, but see these fasteners? Did yours come with little square fasteners?
Mm-hmm.
So I just have real small screws with nuts and washers, and then I have this glued over top. This is what I hate. I hate the thermal detonator.
Now, okay, so I guess that's my next question. Is the thermal detonator is supposed to be like the actual PVC pipe is supposed to be gray, correct?
Yeah, it's gray with white caps and the button on top.
Oh, that's annoying. Because I got a white. They gave me a white pipe.
It's like a tester gray. Did they give you they used to give you? See, I think mine has the silver stickers. Like mine's the old style.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take, did it come with a pipe or did it come with just a cast?
It's a pipe with then obviously the cast of the.
Because you might just be able to go to a hardware store and get a gray piece of conduit,
mm-hmm.
and do that if you want. That might, these clips are the biggest pain. Mine are like bill clips, like you put money in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bent them and riveted them to the back.
Oh, see, I wasn't messing with that. I bought clips.
Good, because that was an annoying thing. Because when I first got it, I just had it Velcroed on. I had it Velcroed on and that was a big nightmare. There's the holster. It doesn't. The pictures don't zoom on. Oh, there it does. It's funny because mine's a right-handed holster, but it hangs on the left side.
Yeah, because it was what? It was Empire that they moved it to the right side.
Yeah. That always amazed me that they went that different. Blaster optional. What is this? Oh, I never saw the space. This is new. The space pack. That's from Empire Strikes or from New Hope when they're outside. I think that's pretty funny. So if anyone, I don't even know if we don't have any chats or anyone. I think they're mad because we called it quits. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah, there's a weird rivet. There's a weird rivet on the side piece that makes no one knows why it's there. My buttons are the wrong color. Like my buttons are white.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Mine are, I think, looks like I'm missing a button now that I'm looking at it on my FX kit. Yeah, it looks like a button fell off. I'll have to put a new one on. I had black ones somewhere. I had black for a while and then.
Yeah, I got stickers.
That's cool.
That way I don't have to sit there and try and match the color.
Yeah, well, see, on the FX kit, it was built with little holes in it, and you took, like snaps, like when you put snaps on with a special tool, it's just the top part of a snap fits in it.
Right.
You just press it in. The FX kit. Let me close this. But yeah, I mean that's a pretty good CRL. I mean for the the helmet, you got to look here. I don't know what lenses they give you, but I would put the flat lenses. If they give you bubble lenses, don't put those in.
Yeah, they're it's just a flat green bar.
Good, yeah. Yeah, so my one helmet has separate lenses and my one helmet has the one whole piece, and I like the one whole piece better than the separate. Because no matter if you're out in the heat or something and a lens pops out, this way. Mine actually, the screws that hold the helmet together are what hold my lens in one of my helmets.
That's a smart way to do it.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere because I've had all sorts of lenses. I had bubble lenses in mine. I had, fans. Some guys put fans, and I just.
Yeah, I got too much hair to.
Yeah.
Throw a fan in there.
Yeah. Well. You got if that guy that does all the fighting for the Mandalorian in the Mandalorian can fit his hair in a Mandalorian bucket, I think you'll plenty of room for the TK bucket.
Right. Yeah, it's a big helmet. I mean, I realized it whenever I was wearing yours, but like it's I mean I'm a small person. I mean I've never shied away from that, but
you can always go as Luke. You can always you can be Luke in this stormtrooper. We just get you walking. You and I can just walk Chewbacca to the prison cell.
right.
So,
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna bring my pauldron with me on Sunday. Which
you got a pauldron?
Yeah.
Oh, you're all wow. What color?
Orange.
Okay, good. I'm taking my orange.
Yeah, well, I figured I'm like, okay, so the Mandalorian made it so you don't need to be a sand trooper. They made the stormtrooper commander.
Yep.
So I'm like, yeah, I'll buy a pauldron.
Yeah. Well, there's probably. Let me look at the CRL. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, because they have so many stormtrooper ones now. Like, see here, Stormtrooper Commander. No, that's that. I hate that one with the blue paint on it. I'm sorry if there's anyone that likes that. I just hate that.
Yeah, the Force Unleashed.
Well, they have the Force Unleashed one. No, they have a plain old Force Unleashed, like a white Stormtrooper. Well, I didn't even realize there was a different one for that either. Jedi Execute. The only I can't find. I was looking for Rebel Storm. I hate the Rebel Stormtrooper armor. It's terrible looking.
I was gonna tell you that Walt's doing a run of 10 Rebels Stormtroopers.
Yeah, but okay. So here, let me pull this up, and I'll tell you not knocking anyone's armor, but there's something. Let me see. Look at that. Like, there's something not.
Yeah, that don't look right.
It's I don't know. The helmet looks cool, but I think it's this part. Because this is like I don't know. It just I don't know. I don't know if the helmet looks too small. Like I feel like the helmet should be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just something about it. It just didn't never really set well with me. I always liked the helmet, but the armor itself, I never.
Yeah, let me do this.
But they have this one. I like this one. The Incinerator Trooper from. I think that's from. What is it? That's from the Mandalorian as well. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me see if I can get that.
Yeah, so that's I feel like in this picture, I honestly, I mean, like you said, not to knock anyone. I mean, the Rebels or the animation style is so thin and so I feel like having a thinner frame is more beneficial for the Rebels armor.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that armor, I don't know. It seems like they took what is one of the more comfortable armors, like because I know guys in clone armor always have a hard time, and then they took the like I don't understand why you couldn't have just taken regular TK armor and thrown a Rebel's helmet on it. I know it looks slightly different, but it didn't look different because they were trying to make it look different. It's just how the animation looked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that gives me the flashbacks of the animated clone armor. So
yeah,
I had a suit of that, and I'm not.
Did you?
I did. I never finished it. I had it all cut out, and then I was looking at it. I'm like, I'm not going to fit in this. So someone offered me what I paid for it, and I was like, yeah, it's yours. So because I wanted to do Commander Keeley. So if I ever get back to running, I'll do Commander Keeley. Because I just liked his story. It was just like he died trying to save, his Jedi, and I just always liked that story.
Right.
So, but I'm happy being a stormtrooper. So,
yeah, I will be too. especially for the price that I paid for it.
Well, Waltz again. I have a Waltz biker scout, and the detail on the thing is amazing. So hopefully they get you fixed up with your busted helmet, which I'm sure I haven't. I think they're really good about that stuff.
Yeah, I don't foresee having an issue with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of looking at it now, just as it sits on. So on the ab plate, there's obviously there's a ridge on everything because it's vacuum formed. Yeah. Where does the ridge, like, is there any ridge on the top of the ab plate that's supposed to be there, or is it supposed to be flush with the?
Let me look. I think you mean on the top that's covered.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on. You should have a definitely. You should be able to tell where the armor ends.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to leave as much plastic as possible up there. I don't know. Like there might be a lip. I'm looking at mine. Hang on, let me check this other one. On my Sand Trooper, which is Moncal, there is a little bit of a bump. Like you can see where the cut is.
Mm-hmm.
Always err in the side of leaving more on.
Right.
Now, like you shouldn't have any problem with that chest piece coming up on you, but you definitely don't want that white gap like up here.
Right. Yeah, so, I think my biggest problem is the chest armor is gonna sag down on me. That's definitely gonna be my biggest issue.
But you can adjust that with your shoulder straps.
Right.
So you can bring that up a little bit, and you might find you're probably your hardest thing is you're going to almost have to like stand and like stretch your neck to get that head movement, because and that's where you might, I don't know where you can, like, just for certain things you might find that like, hey, I'm just going to wear like the Black Series Stormtrooper helmet because it's not accurate, but if you need head movement for something,
right.
The problem with the Black Series, it has it does have that battery thing in the back. Like if they would have made that Stormtrooper helmet after they made the Mandalorian helmet, it wouldn't have had that. But that was one of their first endeavors. So
yeah, this is going to be a very interesting experience for me.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun though. I'm telling you, the first time I wore it, man, I was just grinning from ear to ear, like, because it was one of those things you never thought. I never thought it'd have Stormtrooper armor. I mean, maybe it's a little more believable now, but back in when in the '90s when I was thinking about it, I was like, that's never going to be a thing for me. So.
Yeah, the thigh pieces are definitely I know that's going to give me a headache.
Yeah, blue tape. Just blue tape those suckers up. Have if your dad can help you or someone, blue tape and pencils will be your friend, man. Just blue tape the crap out of them to get them sized exactly how you want them,
mm-hmm.
and and try on when you're sizing them, try to do most of your cutting in the back. So because if you have to, the width you can make that you won't have to worry about it because you're a thinner guy, but you can always fudge that back strip to be a little wider.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think everything else though, I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, just keep the soft Velcro from hitting your clothes. I mean, the sticky Velcro.
Right.
All the soft Velcro, because Marty and I just disassembled and reassembled 2 Ruby suits, and all the Velcro was backwards. All the jagged stuff pointed towards the body, and the soft stuff pointed out. So it'll destroy your undersuit.
Yeah. I don't plan on using any Velcro if I don't have to, except for the belt, just because for that fact alone, I don't want anything sticking to me.
Yeah, well, it depends. Like the back of the legs. Again, if you talk to Marty, he lives and dies by Velcro, and I don't. But the nice thing if a snap fails, like I've had snaps fail on my arm, if you don't have anyone to help you, you're kind of screwed. If Velcro fails, you can kind of reach around and get it to hold on. So
right.
So when I redo my next armor, my plan is to do Velcro with a snap in the center. so I can snap it, and the Velcro is like my emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my. But
yeah, now is that going to be when you build your Anovos kit, or one of
yeah,
them, I
so
should
my
say?
Anovos is going to replace my FX kit, and then my second Anovos, which I sound like a, the one that I didn't have to pay for, that's going to probably be my incinerator trooper.
Mm.
Safi wants it, but I don't think she. After being 000, I don't think she wants to wear anything else but 000. So
That makes sense.
So, but yeah, I'll probably do the only way I get rid of one of my Anovos kits is if I had a chance to get a biker scout. If someone said, "Hey, then I might think about it," but because I never wanted a biker scout until the Mandalorian. So that would be my other.
Yeah, I think if I do another original trilogy suit anytime in the near future, it would probably be a biker scout.
Yeah.
That or maybe a snow trooper.
Yeah, snow troopers are rough though. I mean, they look better in bigger numbers when there's snow on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is they're very hot to wear in the summer and not very warm in the winter. So.
Yeah.
But I have a friend that does a Royal Guard, which is cool. You should do Obi-Wan. Grow a beard. Get your Obi-Wan robe.
If I could, I would. Honest to God, if I could grow a beard, I would definitely sport one. But right now, I've just got the kind of trashy looking goatee.
Oh yeah, you're like I wish I had that problem. I have now that we don't have masks at school, I got to shave now. I didn't shave the last 2 days, and I was like, oh man, I forgot we don't have masks. So I could just get away with it.
Right.
But we have we have 3 big Star Wars things this week. We have You Got Your Armor, which I think should be a TikTok series. Like if you're not TikToking that, I can't help you. Okay, I can't help you anymore in TikTok. That's what people want to see. They want to see you build that armor.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's as exciting as it would be to see me swearing at plastic. I mean, you've got a point.
Just take a before and after picture. Just take before you start working next, take a bunch of pictures, do whatever you're going to do, and then just take some after and just do a 30-second or a 1-minute TikTok on how it went. That's what people want to hear, because so many people think it's impossible to do this stuff. And you might help that one person who is thinking they might want to do it, and I know not everyone has the money or whatever, but sometimes you do these things and it helps you get through all the other things in life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my point to joining the 501st is there is an aspect of charity, especially when you're doing it in the 501st where no one knows who you are. Now, there's some people that do it for all the glory, but when I'm just Stormtrooper number 3 and I'm making some kid happy, that helps me. That's almost like a selfish act sometimes. You have a bad week and you think stuff's tough, and then you see little kids whose parents are just happy they can see Stormtroopers because they don't have money to do this, that, or this, and it just makes you rethink a lot of things. And it's anonymous, so you do it, and then you just kind of go on your way.
Right. Yeah, and that's my biggest thing. It's I want to join because I love doing I love giving back. I love doing charity work, but on that same flip side, looking identical to everyone else has never been my forte.
But with the TK, that's the point.
Right.
That's because then what's nice is you get in with those people, and then you decide, hey, well, you know what? I really like being a Stormtrooper, but I think I want to do X, Y, and Z, or like a biker scout. With the biker scouts, there's so many variations on bikers, and there's variations on Stormtroopers. There's variations on how Stormtroopers act. Like, you're a younger, thinner guy, you'll be able to be more active, and the kids will love it. Like, we had a Stormtrooper at one point that could do a handstand and flip in his TK armor. So he looked exactly the same as us, but he could do a flip. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, there's, and then you get cards made, and you hand a kid your own card. Now, again, I'm saying about getting cards made. I get them for my kids, but I didn't get any for me yet. But you hand some of those kids cards. I mean, again, especially in the last 4 or 5 years, we have people that are struggling with anything. Like there's kids that will never go to see Disney, and there are kids. I have students who go to one movie a year if they're lucky, and then we go doing a free event where they can see us and get pictures. You can't put a price on that, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, hopefully that one movie is The Batman this year, because that was phenomenal.
Well, don't tell me. I'm going to go see it. It's just this week. I'm getting ready for this weekend coming up. I had to put off going to see The Batman. So that was I think Michael Keaton's Batman was the first movie that I saw twice in the theater, and the first movie that I stood in line for. So, because when I was a kid, we just went to Star Wars whenever you could fit in. You know what? We didn't, and so I'm looking forward to that Batman movie. I heard one complaint that he wasn't Bruce Wayne a lot, and I was like, okay, then I definitely want to go see this movie because my biggest complaint with superhero movies is they're not superheroes enough. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's without giving anything away, it's 3 hours of a pure. It feels like it's ripped straight out of the Long Halloween comic book.
Good. Well, that's what, like, just from what I've seen, it looks like it reminds me of the old Batman Year One or Year Two, or when the third Batman book started in the 80s. I forget the name of it. Was it The Shadow of the Bat, or I don't know, but it was more of like a gritty Batman movie. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I do hope that Warner Brothers and DC can get past making new origins for every guy. So, you know.
Yeah, and I think with where they're at with the movies they're putting out, I think they're starting to realize that. I think Spider-Man: Homecoming was the big push where it's like, look, these mainstream superheroes, we get it. They had a tragic past. They had XYZ happen. And so I think now they're starting to piece it together. But I saw the Batman twice. I went Thursday night, thought about it literally from the second I walked out of the theater until because I said, you know what, screw it, I've got nothing better to do. So I went and saw a matinee show on Friday, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Obviously, I'm a shill for Batman. My Instagram handle is Gotham City Dark Knight. So.
Yeah, well, that's. I mean, when I was big into comics, the only real DC comic that I read was Batman. I remember I made a lot of money when Robin got killed, because
Death in the Family.
It was a $75 or 75-cent comic book, and I picked one up. I always used to pick up extra. This is before I had a store, and I wound up picking up like 30 copies of it. And by that weekend, it was selling at minimum for $7.50. And so, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, because it came out of nowhere. You know, it was one of those ones that came out of nowhere. But it was like it peaked, and I was like trading and this and that. And that's what helped me build a lot of my Spider-Man books up. I was like, hey, look, so. But yeah, I want to go see that. So we can talk, since I figure we wouldn't talk toys since Ken's not here.
Right,
because that's like his thing. But what'd you think of the Obi-Wan trailer?
I had it playing on a loop just in my headphones while I was at work today. I'm so excited.
It was good because they brought in the Inquisitors. So if anyone hasn't watched Rebels, you have till it comes out. Definitely you should watch all the Rebels. I mean, because the Inquisitors that's definitely the birth of the Inquisitors. And the Grand Inquisitor, which I don't know, they didn't show a good look of his face, but the mask looks slightly different than what I was expecting. The mask they used in for those people in that are the same species in Revenge of the Sith. When Obi-Wan goes and talks to him, weren't they the same species as the Inquisitor?
I believe so.
Yeah. So I was expecting him to look more like that, but I would also imagine with a television show, certain prosthetics have to be made, But is it 6 episodes?
So I've heard either 5 or 6.
I went on
short.
IMDb. IMDb, they had the writer credited for 6 episodes, and they had 2 other writers. It said episodes unknown, so I didn't know if it was a co-writing credit or if there was 6 or 8 episodes.
Yeah, and I'm very pleased that they're staying consistent, and it's one director and one and a half writers.
Yeah.
So I very much so appreciate that, because like, as much as I love The Mandalorian, when you get too many hands in the pot, they feel very different.
Yeah. Well, and I said this last time, and how can I say this again next week? But I still think they would be better off to just have the Star Wars Hour every Wednesday, and just and entice writers and directors to, okay, we'll give you 3 episodes of what do you want to write, you know.
Mhm.
And as much as I love the Mandalorian series and the Boba Fett series and all the other series coming out, it might not be a bad idea just to mix it up, you know?
Right.
Then people complain about that too, but I haven't heard any complaints about the trailers yet. So that's I haven't been on Twitter either. So
yeah, I usually Twitter is exclusively for sports for me, because I can't handle the fanboys groaning.
Oh my goodness, it's bad though, because like I know with Zoe's podcast and stuff like that, a lot of times they still look at how many they get. Companies get fixated on how many Twitter followers you have, or they don't look at bigger picture. And it seems like Twitter is one of those ones they always want to look at. And I don't see any positivity coming out of any fan base in Twitter. You know, you could put the most positive post up and you're going to have like 50 people hate you. You know.
Yeah, and I guess kind of piggybacking off of that, the biggest off, I don't want to say gripe or thing that I thought was off or wrong, but I was very, speaking of the Grand Inquisitor, I was very thrown off, because kind of going back to like the Rebels TK armor, is the animation style is very thin and slender. His head just seemed so wide in comparison to everything you know about the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. You know, but maybe he just had a bad, maybe instead of hair they have bad head days, their head just swell up. You know, I don't know.
As much as people don't like them, I was very happy to see the helicopter lightsaber.
Oh yeah,
in action.
Well, you know, I like, as much as people, I know they didn't like the helicopter lightsabers, but it was one of those things, like, it was an easy way to make them be able to get around without having to bring a whole ship in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, because you can't have every villain fly their own ship in. It would just be stupid. You know.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see Joel Edgerton back as Owen Lars.
Yeah, that was cool. Was the girl the same as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a quote from Deborah Chow that said, "Thank you very much, George Lucas, for casting Joel Edgerton as Owen Lars."
Yeah.
Because back in 2005, I mean, Joel Edgerton wasn't the biggest actor,
right?
But I mean, now if you look back, it's like, wow, that if you were to look back in 2005 and say, all right, in 17 years, you'll be back as the same character.
Yeah. That's almost like job security.
Right. But like looking at his resume now, I mean, it's like, wow, you've got all these different, acting credits that are phenomenal. But you got a 10-second role in Revenge of the Sith.
I think he was good at that. Like, I think overall he was good at seeing the potential in people.
Oh yeah.
What they did with that is up to them. But yeah, the Obi-Wan, I hear all this speculation though of all these fights with Vader, and I still have a feeling that I know that everyone, I will be more surprised if he fights Vader than if he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know they're hinting at the rematch and this and that, but I'm thinking, is it going to be a battle of wits, or is it going to be a lightsaber battle?
Right, and obviously the concept art showed a lightsaber battle.
Right.
However, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that from concept art that doesn't make it to the final shot.
And if he fights Vader, it only, at least in my eyes. Now, look, if they figure it out and they do it right, I'll probably like it anyway. But if he fights Vader, it only weakens both of the characters. Because you can't have Vader be like General Grievous, where he lost every battle,
right?
You know, and you can't have Obi-Wan. If he fights Vader and lives, then wouldn't you think in the gist of things, Vader would just go nuts looking for him, like that would, you know. So I still wouldn't be surprised if Vader, it shows Vader, like the Inquisitors thinking they find Obi-Wan, and Vader finding other Jedi and killing other Jedi, and I just have a feeling it's going to be more Obi-Wan protecting Luke by keeping the heat off of Luke. That's my opinion. Like if someone shows up that's looking for Jedi, Obi-Wan will do everything possible to make sure they don't think Jedi are there.
Yeah, and I was talking to a friend of mine about it, and he's like, "Oh, when do you think we're gonna see the Vader versus Obi-Wan fight?" And I told him, like, I mean, if we even see it at all, you got to think like that's not something you'll see in the first 2 or 3 episodes.
Right.
I very much so think that it's going to be everything we saw in the trailer is going to be from the first episode and the first quarter of the second episode, kind of like what they did with Boba Fett.
Yep.
But I've got a very strong feeling it's going to be okay. The Inquisitors are on Tatooine. They think they found a Jedi. Obi-Wan is kind of catches wind of the Inquisitors hunting down Jedi, so he's following them.
Yep.
And then eventually, I think in the very end of the last episode, Vader and Obi-Wan are going to cross paths.
Yeah.
So,
well, again, I wouldn't be surprised if the big epic battle is a flashback, and they just give us more scenes from the Mustafar battle.
Yeah.
You know, like a different scene or something. But who knows? I mean, I still wouldn't be surprised if the Vader battle is more him fighting like Mace Windu, or him, you know what I mean, like thinking he finds Obi-Wan and it's Mace Windu, or thinking he finds Obi-Wan and it's someone else. But again, I'll like it probably no matter what they do.
Right.
Because it looks good. I mean, it looks like when he was walking that stupid animal that Qui-Gon had, you know, like just that alone, I would have been happy with that. The Inquisitors the woman Inquisitor reminds me of the one from the Ahsoka book,
which I still never read.
Yeah, so, well, that's another one that would be a good, if you want an audiobook, because it's read by Ashley Eckstein. So it gives you that Clone Wars sound. So,
yeah, well, I've got 13 plus hours of drive time this weekend, so
there you go. Well, yeah, I mean, you have that. I'm trying to think what else you have. You have you could listen to Dr. Afra. Listen to Dr. Afra would be good.
I'm just about done with it. I that was one that I had to read just because I like the text format.
But there's a audio that's not. It's a retelling, but it's in a different way. It's an audio drama. It's a Dr. Afra audio drama. So if you read the comic books, it makes it even better because it's basically it's basically like the story, but now she's going to retell it to you from her point of view.
Yeah, which that's the because I've got the hardback book.
Yeah.
Of where it's basically written like a script.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they even made a book for that. I didn't even know they made a book for that. I just know there was the audio drama, the Dr. Afra audio drama.
Actually, yeah, I mean it's. If you actually look, it's.
Oh, okay.
It's written like a script.
Oh, cool.
So,
yeah, like I said, I listened to it because I wanted to hear what 000 sounded like.
Yeah, I've got a little bit left on the Princess Diarist, Carrie Fisher's book.
Yeah.
And I want to finish. I'm like 25 or 30 chapters into the IMC3PO book.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, and I feel bad because I think Anthony Daniels got misquoted out of that book a lot because his chapters are honest. Like he tells how he feels, and he tells like how his feelings changed. Like he talks about, and I think he was misquoted on some of those earlier chapters when he was it sounded like he was bashing George Lucas, but basically he was telling this is how I felt at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely a good book.
Yeah, and then I've got because I've got the Audible subscription,
Mm-hmm.
so you get a new audiobook every month. I got the 40th anniversary book of the what is it, like the 40 stories from Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got the A
That's
New
cool.
Hope one. I still need to get the Empire Strikes Back one though.
Yeah, I think is that the one. I think is that what's it called? Is that no? That's not Certain Point of View. Or is that the one? No,
I
Certain
think
Point of View.
I
Is it
think
called
yeah.
Certain Point of View? Yeah, because I think Dave Filoni's wife wrote one of the stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Like
Ashley, I'm pretty sure Ashley Eckstein wrote one too.
Yeah, because she did Zoe's show and talked about it. That's cool.
Yeah, From a Certain Point of View.
Yeah. Yeah, we have the Empire one here. Zoe's she's on like a mad tear to have all the new books read by June or something like that. So she's rereading them all.
That's
And she knocks out a whole book in like 2 days. So
yeah, I can't relate.
I can do about 3/4 of the book. I always think the last quarter tends to take me forever.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's where I'm at with the Dr. Aphra book.
Yeah.
I started it back in November, powered through most of it, and then now I'm just kind of waiting to finish it.
Well, yeah. So that's our news. We had You Got Your Armor. We got the Obi-Wan trailer, which looks good. I can't. If people start complaining about the Obi-Wan trailer, I don't know what to say to them. I really don't. I mean, I don't know how you can. I didn't see anything that you can complain about. I know some people said they think that it's Rex in there and stuff like that. And I'm trying not to over speculate because I want to be. I don't want to spoil anything by accident.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. So there is a documentary out about the 501st. There's two. I have one of them on. I think I have it on DVD somewhere. I should make you a copy of it. Not to sell or anything, but but I bought it from Australia because they couldn't distribute it in the United States. But there's another one out too, and I forget what it's called. But I think it might be on Amazon Prime. So, but then the other thing is the celebration announcements.
Yeah.
So like tickets finally came on sale and stuff like that. So, so that's pretty cool for people that want to go. It's I think the tickets are like $190 or something like that for 4 days, and $75 a day if you get individual tickets or something like that.
Oh, it's a lot better than the secondhand market that I saw.
Oh, I know.
$6,000 for a 4-day pass. It's like I could have bought Super Bowl tickets for that.
You could go to well, now we're back on to the Star Cruiser. You could buy an inflatable Millennium Falcon for that.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear like over $6,000, I'm just going to price everything in how many Millennium Falcons you can buy.
It's a valid currency.
Yeah. Well, I get ads for them every day now, so one of these days I'll be up at like 3 a.m. and I'll be like, yeah, I can pay $275 a month for the next 6 years for that.
Yeah, it's only an auto loan.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm glad the tickets went on sale partially because of that secondhand market. Because the secondhand market, I felt like Celebration isn't cheap as it is. And then when I saw the secondhand market kind of going crazy like that, I was like, it's just not. I just know that if I wouldn't have gotten my tickets and all of a sudden my girls wanted to go, it just puts you in a bind as a person, and then you have people that are just, I can see if someone spent $200 on a ticket and they decide not to go and they want to make $300, they want to make like $100 or something from it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a good capitalist when it comes to that kind of stuff. I just felt that was a little rough.
Yeah.
Like if you want to buy the tickets up last minute or something, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that kind of thing. I don't know. I guess people can do what they want, but when they buy all them up for no reason. And Repop, I mean, they're still not getting many announcements out. Like they put some merch pictures up, which was kind of cool. I normally just buy a T-shirt. I'm not really much into the celebration merch. Like I think I got a T-shirt and a patch. I think last year, because last time you had to wait like an hour or two to get into the store. Like you had to wait in line to get into the store. So I was like, I'm not waiting. So and then you just wait till near the end, and then some of the exclusives aren't there. But depending on if you're an action figure collector, and then you do want to get to the exclusives. Like I got into the pop lottery, but my time was like late in the thing, and there was no pops I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So I missed out on my time. So when I went the last day, there was one pop left, and it was like translucent Greedo. That was the only pop they had. It was literally I bought the last pop, like so.
Yeah, that way you can say you did.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? They have this bag that I could almost use as a sleeping bag. They give me a pop because they had these giant pop bags that said pop figures or something on them. And I just wanted one of the bags, and she wasn't going to give me a bag. I said, "Look, so she gave me a bag. The bag probably costs more to make than the translucent Greedo pop, but I'm happy that it's the tickets are going for sale. Now the other thing is they have all the mask rules in place in the vaccine rules, and I know a lot of people are getting angry at that, but I have a feeling that they're just they're posting up for anyone listening or thinking about going. I think they're posting up the most restrictive rules right now. So then, if things change, they can always make it easier. Does that make sense? Because you don't want someone buying a $200 ticket and then say, "Oh, by the way, you can't do this, this, or this." So, I think that's better. That's probably better business on their part.
Right. Yeah, you're definitely going to deter a lot of people who are on the fence about that. So, yeah, and I think you're right. If you start at the absolute worst case scenario and work your way back, you're going to have a lot easier time than being very loose and fast with it and then trying to ramp it up.
Yeah, like if I fly halfway across the country taking my costume and they say all of a sudden the week before you can't wear your costume because you can't cover a mask or something like that, then I'd be quite perturbed. So,
which I know I didn't understand that one. That's like if your face is covered, and you've got a mask underneath.
I think it runs into like, so if you have a TK helmet on and you're breathing whatever, I think since that's probably okay, in theory. But then what's to say if someone has some other mask, like if you have a Chewbacca mask on, you're breathing right out like with no mask. So and same with 000 or C-3PO, you're just breathing out that little hole. It's almost like a jet coming out. So it's probably one of those rules. They're like, what can we do to just covers everything so we don't have to have like a 10-page book on different masks? Because I think part of it is these businesses don't want to be the next super spreader. You get con crud as it is, just from being tired and packed in there and people not knowing what deodorant is and stuff. So it's probably just like, and who knows, it could be the venue might say. The venue might just say, look, you have to have masks and we have to be able to look in the crowd and make sure everyone's wearing a mask.
Right. Yeah, I think hopefully next year it's a little more relaxed.
Yeah, well, I imagine all the other cons seem to be, lightening up. So, and so I would imagine the next. I don't know if they're going to go back to their old method of they'll do a European celebration, and then they'll come back to the States. I don't know how that's going to work, because at a certain point, like when they announced the last one, we were still at Chicago, and they announced the date of the next one. I was like, oh crap, because I'm still spending money right now. I haven't had time to recover,
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah,
it's
I have
worth
to
it.
make it. I've got to make it to a celebration at some point. I mean, that's I love cons and I love Star Wars. That is the mecca of both
Yeah.
worlds.
Well, it's definitely it. Like I mean, out of all the cons I've gone to, I would say Celebration is my number one. Um, Again, the traveling, like you can't take costumes. I'm not taking costumes on a plane or anything like that. Um, but the my second one will be Steel City.
Hmm.
Like out of all the other, because some of the other cons, like New York Comic Con, I'm destined to go one of these days. But I talk to people that go every year, and it doesn't sound like a con I'm going to like. Because at New York Comic Con, you choose if you want to get an autograph or a picture, you're pretty much at your day. Like you can't go, And I don't know. The thing I like about Steel City is you can run that con 50 times, and and
Spur of the moment, decide, hey, I want an autograph from Dennis
yep,
Lawson, and
yep.
hop in line and
Oh
get it.
yeah, yeah. Or
Yeah,
just
yeah, I've never been an autograph or a celebrity guy.
yeah,
But you're right. That's what's nice about Steel City is you can just like that change your mind and
yeah. And in Steel City, um, you're kind of stuck and you have to be in con mode because there's nothing around. Like
Mhm.
you can walk over to the mall and but there's like you go to some of the cons and there's nothing to do. Like the people just kind of as soon as it's over they go do different stuff. I
Mhm.
like to be in con mode when I go to cons um, and Celebration was kind of the same way too. You're kind of like stuck in a. Now I know some guys are going to run over to Disney and stuff like that during Celebration. I'm probably not going to do that.
Yeah, you're just tacking on another
I know.
hefty
I'm
expense
just
on that.
I'm gonna be eating ramen but I don't know. But yeah, so that's our good Star Wars news, and hopefully next week when Ken's back, we'll be able to talk Stormtroopers and movies, and we'll see if Matt wants to join. I got a message from Marty, and I asked for him to join, but he must have been in. He must have not got my message. The problem is I can't send it on my phone because he doesn't like my Mac. I can send it to people's phone if they have a uh, iPhone, but he
Mhm.
has an Android, so I'm stuck.
Yeah, I really hope we can get Matt on here because I feel like
Oh yeah, yeah,
that would be it's especially if we still plan on doing a Han Solo Chronicles episode.
yeah. Oh yeah, we definitely have to do a Han Solo's Chronicles episode. And now that I'm getting the hang of using this, like this whole thing, um, I can make up a slideshow of a lot of the pictures we took.
Mhm.
There's a way to put music on here too, but I don't know. There's a way to put music, and I have no clue how. Because I was playing with the setting one time, and I figured how you could put background music, and
Hmm.
I haven't been able to find that button again. So, but we did get the background graphics. I got my nice Obi-Wan background graphic here.
Yeah.
And,
See part of his eye and his goatee.
I know. Well, hey, I don't know if it does it. No, that doesn't. That makes. I'm just looking at all the settings. Yeah, that's the side by side. There, that's our background. And then we have the chat overlay, but we haven't had any chat because I think we were a little late in getting started today. So and TikTok is nothing but Obi-Wan talk,
Right.
which is great.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've been in the fandom long enough not to sound like a gatekeeping person, but I'm just like you know, I some of the fans I find suspect because I remember the years when there was very few Star Wars fans. I'm like, really? You liked it your entire life? I need to, not that I care, but I'm like, I remember being harassed quite a bit in the 80s and 90s for liking Star Wars. So.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, I have been harassed my entire life for liking Star Wars.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed.
Yeah, no, I mean, even up until Rise of Skywalker, when students came in my room and even teachers, they just looked at me like I had my pictures of me and my stormtrooper. They just looked at me like I was insane. So, you know, when you say you have stormtrooper armor, everyone looks at you like there's something wrong with you until they see a bunch of you in stormtrooper armor. Then they're usually the ones that want the most pictures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so. But hopefully you'll get your armor done. If not, we got a spare set for you. You know, take your time, but don't rush it. You have armor to wear.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say it's looking like just based on that one forearm that took me an hour. We're I think once I get the extremities assembled, I feel like it's gonna go like that because there's not a lot of assembly. It's more so just strapping and making sure everything looks right.
Gorilla tape the back of the back of your seams though. I strongly recommend that.
That's I was at Joann's because I forgot I needed to get strapping. Yeah. Oh, I didn't get elastic for the ammo boxes.
So the other thing is with the when you put your, I don't know if you're going to do all snaps.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember what my snaps are. I put them on belting and then CA glued them to the plastic.
Mm-hmm.
So then if you ever have to take them off, you can just grab them with pliers. It'll pull right off.
So, hold on. Say that one more time.
So like say the inside of the chest piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I need snaps to whatever. I take a piece of belting about this long and I put two snaps in it. I soak that belting. I put that belting and CA glue that piece of belting onto the armor, because some guys will make like plastic plates,
mm-hmm.
you know, and they'll put snaps on them.
Yeah.
But the problem is if you put a plastic plate with a snap in it, it doesn't have any give. So if you jerk, like go to fall, and that glue rips off. Now, if you put in a piece of belting, that belting has a little bit of give before it tears off of the plastic. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's how I did all mine. Mine have been on there I redid my armor in 2000. I put all them snaps on in 2008 or 2009. And it's been on there since then.
Wow.
And it's just, I soaked that sucker. Like I said, I put I think it's the male ends of the snaps. I just put double snaps everywhere, put it on a piece of belting, and just glued it right to the plastic.
Mm-hmm. So okay. So what you're saying is you've got two pieces of fabric, each with the male and the female snap, and they would come together.
Yeah. Oh, here, let me see if I can. Sorry for all the armor noise. See if I can hold one up to the camera here. So here's my elastic strap.
Mm-hmm.
See? This piece of belting is super glued to this. And then this is my elastic with two snaps.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I have it snaps like this. Well,
All right. Now, would you say that so you've got black elastic.
All my elastic is black because you have the black undersuit.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I think my drop boxes are white.
See, everyone told me to use nobody told me in a lot of the in a lot of the tutorials, everything is black except for the shoulder straps. Everyone uses 2-inch white elastic.
Yeah, you can do that. But see, it sits under there. Like the white's fine. What I would do differently is, see, mine, I have this elastic. You have to put that elastic to make it accurate. You have to have this elastic strap that holds it onto there and holds it up. I think what I would do differently is I would probably put the soft Velcro here and put some Velcro on there just to hold it up in there a little better, But again, that's a fit and finish. That's like you get it together to wear, and the first time you wear it, you'll figure out what's not working. And so Ark, thanks for coming back. We had a little miscommunication on our getting started.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would you can do the white. My Sand Trooper has cloth shoulder straps because they're different.
Right. Yeah, because the Sand Trooper that's they don't have the plastic.
Right. And if you wear a pauldron, your pauldron almost completely covers your shoulder bells. I mean your straps, both sides. Depending on if you got one from Trooper Bay, their pauldrons are probably the best.
Yeah, that's that. I remember you saying that. That's why I ordered a Trooper Bay one. Yep.
All right, there's here. So Bryce is saying Kenobi. Yeah, we just got done talking about Kenobi's movie. Now we're talking about Stormtroopers. But I mean, hopefully everyone saw the trailer. We didn't ruin it for anyone.
Yeah, actually, let me grab because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking.
Right,
let me grab my chest plate real quick.
Let me see.
Oh, come on. Yeah, my biggest concern with the chest plate is now that I'm looking at it and just kind of like sizing it up. I mean, this is darn near perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like for fit for my body type. I'm just hoping, because there's not supposed to be any gaps between the armor and the shoulder bells.
Yeah. Well, see, so with mine, now again, these are old. So I have about 2 inches of strapping between the elastic and the shoulder. I should have shrunk this up. I should have put my shoulder bell right up against this because it stretches. I got short legs but wide shoulders. And then there's what the inside looks like. That's that single strap with a snap. And now this snap on the forearm, I just put it completely through the forearm.
Okay.
I just got you got to make sure when you get snaps, you get the longer stud. You get the longer stud ones if you're going to do thick ones. And if possible, I recommend getting the hand tool for the snaps, not the pound kind.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it harder, But again, if you're putting it all on strapping, you can use the pounding tool. So it's not as big a deal. I just think the last time we saw them live. Oh, the Stormtroopers,
Solo and the Mandalorian.
And the Mandalorian, yeah, it's true.
I don't think there weren't any in Boba Fett.
No, there wasn't any Boba Fett, which I'm glad because I didn't want the remnants of the Empire to be just a new villain. Because if you had remnants of the Empire villain in every Star Wars show that takes place after, then you just basically still have the Empire.
Right.
But yeah, so you have some. It looks like you have nice trim mark. Like you'll know where to trim it.
Yeah. So is it? I guess this kind of leads me back.
I would leave the return. Yeah, I would cut it. I would cut it so you still have that bottom return.
Okay.
Because mine, see the return?
Mm-hmm.
There's a return. You want that return because that's going to sit right here, so it's going to be seen a lot. But again, if you have really sharp snips, like utility snips, if you've already trimmed the arm, you already know. And then you just hit it with a Dremel or real light sanding.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys use the snap and cut method, I'm always afraid to try the score and snap method, but some guys will just score it and snap it.
Yeah,
You know,
it
I'm more
worked surprisingly well.
okay. Well, that's
I
good.
was shocked.
You know, my I might have done that with my Sand Trooper now that I think about it. But we're doing this. The problem with that Novos kit, it's a really hard plastic. Like it splinters.
Yeah, that's styrene. That's not ABS.
Yeah. So that one we just redid those kits. That was a pain. So, but yeah, you can yeah, that ab plate looks really nice. I mean, that chest plate looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely paid for quality here.
Yeah.
So I guess now that I'm looking at it a little closer, I've got a little dimple.
I would
right here.
I wouldn't even bother with it. No one will notice it.
Right.
When I was building 000, I was getting fixated on all these little imperfections, and I think it was Dan or someone told me, said just get the whole thing done, and then you won't even see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, because mine has banged up cracks, and you know, and it's like a new car. When you first wear it, you're gonna have to get it dirty first before, and then you'll be like, okay, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the second time I wore mine, they ran a wagon into it. And, so I had a big red mark on my one leg for years.
Yeah, I on my left forearm, I've got to figure out how I'm gonna get these off. But I was wearing rubber gloves, and I must have caught some CA glue. So I've got little tiny blue flecks that I gotta. I'll probably hit that with my X-Acto knife and just kind of lightly get it off.
You could do Goo Gone might take it off.
Oh yeah, Goo Gone would probably do it.
Just I would just probably do Goo Gone. You don't want to do too heavy chemicals, only because that not anytime soon. But if you use too many heavy chemicals on them, that's going to make them yellow.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, we just de-yellowed a whole Stormtrooper. The Stormtrooper kit we did, they let it sit out in the sun in a box, so half of it was yellow. And so we had to use this whitening agent and put it under UV lights and stuff like that. So that's those helmets I posted up on TikTok with the tear things cut out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the other thing is the actual decals for the helmet. I know hand painting them is kind of frowned upon even for the stunt kits, and I was like, that's how they were done.
Oh, I hand painted mine on my one bucket because I couldn't get the one bucket I have. No one could give me a reference, so I hand painted it or make them on the Cricut.
Yeah, I've got decals, but I try because Trooper Bay doesn't have Walt's kit.
Yeah.
But I did some research and tried to match it up to the closest helmet sizing.
Yeah.
So I think I've got the right ones.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you have to, you can make a stencil on the Cricut.
Right.
But if I hand painted the one gray and then just took a Sharpie marker and used that to make the black lines and stuff, because like the Sand Trooper and Stormtrooper are different. But yeah, it'll be fun. You know, you get it all together. Hopefully, Walt gets back to you about the helmet. He will. I mean, I'm just send him a picture and they'll take care of you.
Right.
He wouldn't be that big if he treated his people poorly. So.
Yeah, luckily, I mean, if and again, like you said, I don't think it will go poorly. But if at the end of the day I've got to use this one, it's at least it's at the very bottom of the chin. So
now, they give you the plastic stripping to go inside the helmet.
Yeah, I got everything.
Good.
I mean, I know a lot of kits don't have the aerators. They don't have the brow or the neck seal.
That's good.
So, and I mean, there's hardware that I haven't even looked at to
they
know
probably give
exactly
you the little screws for the earpieces because I think you have to have 3. I think it's 2 in the ear and then 1 down below.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Chicago screws.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think there's I used for mine. I used the screws that you put in light fixtures. Just and I think my aerators on my first helmet, my FX helmet, are the things that are found on the end of faucets. And you put black tape around them and stuck them on there. So I think my other ones are just cast resin ones.
Yep, yeah, that's what these are. Hang on, I'll grab the little hardware kit because you haven't seen a Walt kit, have you?
I have like I said, I have only seen the Biker Scout. I don't even think I've seen a Walt. I probably have seen a Walt kit built, but I haven't. I don't know that I've seen it. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me go grab the bag of hardware here. Oh. God, it's like navigating a maze in here.
I'm telling you, that should be your next TikTok video.
Yeah, so I mean, it just comes in a little Ziploc bag, and you got the tube stripes, which I already had.
Nice.
Because that just came with the helmet decal kit that I got, and then yeah, it's got just the resin cast aerators. They're already on screws.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice.
And on the actual, like on the chin, they're marked exactly where they need to go.
Nice. There was a guy that made a kit that you hooked your amp into, and the voice came out of those.
Mm.
I don't know if he still makes them at all, because I have the static burst for my. I have a ROM FX for mine that makes the static burst.
Yeah, and then I don't know how well you can see that, but it's
actually that's the aerator.
Yeah,
that goes on the end of the aerator. Yeah.
Yes, that way you don't have to worry. All you got to do is just paint the cast black, and
yeah. I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised they don't dye the cast black.
Right. Yeah. Now, do these sit in the actual aerator, or do they just sit over?
What are they? Let me see.
Because it
hold them up.
Whoop.
Yeah, you might just have to. I think you might just have to glue them in, because I don't think there's a. Yeah, they just sit in like that. Because it's actually it's a what is it, a microphone?
Yeah. Yeah, well, because it's the at least the one combination that I have, it just fits right over top right on the lip.
Yeah, but I think
it doesn't.
I think you gotta squeeze it in.
Yeah. I just didn't know how deep they go.
You have to look at a close up of a helmet, because I think mine are. Now that I think about it, I'm looking at mine. Mine are pretty rough. They're just crunched in there.
Yeah, I've got a bag full of rivets and screws that I have no idea where they're supposed to go.
Rivets. I'm trying to think where the rivets. Oh, the rivets. I think there's one spot on the side ab that you're just supposed to have a random rivet.
That sounds about right.
Like I think it's on the left hand side. There's just like a random rivet.
Yeah, I'm sure it's marked. I mean, everything that needs something to go somewhere, it's all marked.
Nice.
Because I mean, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it, but I mean, there's just on the inside of the helmet there are two little nipples here that where the aerator is supposed to go. Wow,
yeah.
Struggling with the inverted camera here.
I see. Yeah, I see it. Now, do you have the front piece? The what's it? The is that a separate piece? Oh, that's built in.
No, yeah, it's molded in.
Because my FX kit, it's glued on, and I've lost that a couple times. Like I had it with E6000 glue or whatever it was, and that stuff is terrible because it gets, as soon as it gets hot, everything starts falling off. And now, is that wonky? Is one eye bigger than the other? It should be.
Yeah, I was making sure because I couldn't tell just by looking at it. So I had to make sure that it would, it's got the slope on the left eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really nice kit. I'm shocked about the quality. But also looks like I got I just noticed that too. I got,
what is that?
That's a pinch.
Oh yeah, but that might actually be covered. Depending on it looks like he give you a lot of extra on that helmet.
Yeah.
That's the scariest part is when you start cutting that off. So.
Yeah, and he gave us 4 ear caps. So.
Oh, that's good.
You mess one up, you get an extra.
I went through a couple of those, putting them on my one because it was such a soft pull I couldn't find them. But that's one of those ones where, like, mine aren't as tight as they should be, like, but you want them, like nice and snug.
Mm-hmm.
Like Marty's helmet for his 1TK is a fiberglass helmet, all one piece, and it's nice looking. There's not any gaps or anything, but it's like a molded one piece from years ago.
Huh.
And even the brow is molded in.
Really?
Yeah.
And how would you get that like rubber texture to it?
Well, it's just painted black. I think it's just there was like a time where you would pay for a rough helmet, like prices wise, you'd pay for a rough helmet sometimes like $400, and then you had to paint it. The prices and armor. I don't know what Waltz is anymore, but armor years ago was like $700 plus, and it wasn't even that good. Oh, here I got Matt calling me on the phone here. Hang on. Whoops. Oh, there we go. I missed the call. He tried to call me on Facebook, which would have thrown off our thing. So yeah, well, if I'm gonna type him a message.
Yeah. While you're doing that, I need to use the restroom. I drank too much water. So give me 30 seconds. Right. I'll be right back.
Let's see. Let me see here. All right. All right. Let's see. I just resend him the link. I don't know. Let me see. I don't know why the link. He said the link wasn't working. There.
Did you send him the first link that you sent me?
I sent him a new one. So I went into the new invite and see if it'll work. But we'll see. I don't know why if I have. Well, I don't know. So yeah, we have stormtroopers. Now you have to worry about a blaster. So
yeah, which I think for the time being, I'm gonna order a one of the Rubies ones.
Yeah,
and just
they're
mod
nice.
it.
They're like I think they're like 80% size wise. Size wise a little bit. Cad Bane showing up, and a bounty hunter on Obi-Wan. Yeah, that would be. I mean, that would be good. Again, I think that's Blake. He's on my robotics team. My biggest fear is when they take if they take too many of the good villains or the good heroes, and you can't keep having, like, Cad Bane can't be the coolest bounty hunter if he gets defeated in every series he stops by. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I think if you start throwing in named characters too often, I mean, you're gonna have the same complaint as most people did with the Boba Fett show, where it was no longer a Boba Fett show. It was just, okay, how many cameos can we fit into X amount of episodes?
Right. And again, if Cad Bane comes in, what's he going to do? Like, I'd almost say you'd be better off served if you saw Chewbacca, Lando, and Han Solo working out of, if you wanted a guest spot of, but you only have 6 episodes, so you have to be careful.
Right. And it's not like you've got 6 episodes and then you've got another season coming. It's 6 and that's all she wrote.
That's what they say, but you know what? I think they said that about the Bad Batch too.
Well, I mean, truthfully, they also said it about the Mandalorian.
Yeah. So it's I think Ewan McGregor, as many movies as he's made, he's not like setting the world on fire. You know what I mean? Like he's not like no one's rushing out to see him until all this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Blake said about them sending. There we go. Let me see if I can show that. There we go. Crimson Dawn. I could see that. You know, like looking for Obi-Wan. But it might not be bad to see like it. I don't know. I'm just curious what they're going to do. There's going to be one guest appearance on that show that is going to test the grounds for a new show.
Mm-hmm.
There's Matt.
I guess I'm here.
Hey.
The magic of television or something.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah, we were talking. So we were going to talk toys this week, and then fan films next week. But then our toy guy Ken couldn't make it, and then we had the announcement of the Obi-Wan trailer.
Mm-hmm.
We had Celebration tickets going back on sale, and John just got his Stormtrooper armor today. So
great!
It was like Star Wars all over the place.
How's it going, John?
Oh, not too bad. Just the daunting task of assembling TK armor is just weighing over top of me.
Yeah, luckily mine came pre-assembled because it's a good thing because I'm sort of lazy. So
well,
I could make this work, but No.
He got Trooper Bay armor, which is some really good armor.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he'll have it done by. If you have it done by Sunday, John, again, you should be recording all of your actions on that. Because
well, now that I know that I've got Saturday free for the most part, other than I'm gonna try and get as much sleep as I can.
You need to bring a sidekick. I'm telling you, you gotta convince your dad to take a ride. Because now, if you do get your armor done, we will have a set of armor we can stick your dad in.
True, and he's a lot closer to your size than I am.
So there you go.
But I don't know if I can convince him to do the old midnight to 8 a.m. drive.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
he gets to be a stormtrooper,
True.
I wish I could swing you a room, man.
Well, with work, I mean, because it was a hard enough swing for me to get Saturday off just in case.
Yeah.
So in Monday is our Mondays and Thursdays are our big days because I work in auto sales.
Oh, okay.
And so the Mondays and Thursdays are our big days that nobody's allowed to have it off no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So
and it's daylight savings, so we're all gonna be an hour more tired. Anyway.
Yeah, we lose an hour, right?
Yeah.
So if we say be there at 10, it's actually 9, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. All right. Hey,
in my case,
while I got you on here, I need to talk some details with you soon, Mike.
Okay.
Just because concerning weather and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, the weather looks like it might be chilly, but I think we might be okay.
I was more worried about wet.
Yeah. Well, if it,
I think we should. I mean, personally, I'm since it's already like in the can and it's going and it's happening and the train is running and all that kind of stuff. I'm into toughing it out.
I think most guys will tough it out.
Okay. I know it's going to be a little slippery, but as long as we're not running around like idiots,
we just have to get some handlers. Like if we get a couple handlers and we're just careful, like the hardest part is going to be getting down in that valley. And that's the hardest part, whether it's hot, wet, or dry.
Yeah.
I mean? Like that's not, and we'll just have to keep each other safe. And we'll have like Ken's coming. I know Puck is bringing his son. I think his son's like an early teenager, so that's another. Because a lot of times in the TK arm, you just need someone to walk in front of you to give you a little, like slow you down and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think most guys will tough it out, So I'm with you in the sense that the train is running and we get it done. I think.
Well, I mean, if we paused every time we thought it, if it was actually going to rain on that day, yes, it's over. But but since it's snowing the day prior, the ground's been really warm and it hasn't really been sticking. At least here, it's been snowing all day and nothing is stuck.
And the weather. I mean, the weather around here, they never get it right. To be honest with you.
Oh, really?
they, I mean, it can be snowing at my house, and my local weather will be telling me it's sunny. So I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not 100%. Lancaster County weather is not the best.
It's like Florida. Raining here, it's fine here.
Yeah.
Raining here, fine here.
And if you look at the forecast too, like I replied to Bob's question on there. It's all supposed to be Friday night into the maybe early afternoon on Saturday.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Okay. That should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm insured.
So those that are listening, we're talking about the movie shoot that we're doing Saturday. So if anyone has Star Wars armor and wants to, Stormtrooper armor, and you don't mind being a little chilly, then let me know.
Wear extra long johns, people.
Yeah.
If you don't want to wear them, just bring them with you. $7 at Walmart for a full set.
There you go.
But if you're cold and hungry, it's on you.
Yeah, well, again,
I mean,
everyone had a good day. And I would strongly advise anyone that has Star Wars armor that does all the charity work, do a fan film too, because for as tired and as much pain I was in from standing in that armor all day, that was a fun day.
Yeah, making stuff is fun,
Yeah.
and when it comes out and everything, when you do troops and stuff like that, and you see kids and stuff, they'll say, well, what movie are you in? Well,
there you go.
This one,
Yeah.
So and plus, you go to all the cons that it's in and the film festivals, and you'll have your own copy to do with whatever you want with it, I guess. Show it to your friends. I don't know.
Well, I'm telling you, you got it. So the theater near us, you can rent a theater.
No, we'll be doing that too.
Because that's like $200 gets you, if it's a weeknight, it's $200 gets you 3 hours.
And I'm sure John could find a theater near him that we could do that too.
Yeah.
And invite the guys at the dealership or something.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we could. The nice thing about that is you could have a whole film festival of your other films leading up to it.
See, you're always thinking, Mike.
I try, but
you really do come up with some pretty good ideas.
I went into the wrong business. When I was in high school and told people I wanted to be a filmmaker, I literally got laughed out of the guidance counselor's office.
Oh no!
And my mom and stepdad,
as they were putting their joints out,
No, I had no support whatsoever, and I didn't
join the club. Yeah.
I didn't have the fortitude or the wherewithal to pursue that, so I just gave up. Like I used to make films on 8mm, silent 8mm, and I just gave up. And then when my girls showed interest, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do everything possible to make sure they get to do what they want to do, no matter what my preconceived notions or worries are.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, I didn't know you had that kind of interest. We'll get you doing more.
I'm not
kidding.
I taught film to my middle school students. We needed to do a club, so I taught them. The AFI? Is it AFI?
Mm-hmm.
used to make a lesson book. So I adapted it down to 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and I would teach my students film. As best I could with what we had. We were scrounging for cameras and stuff like that, but we had a blast.
Yeah, and now they're easy to come by. Back in that, a few years ago, not so much.
Yeah.
Because what we're shooting on now was $100,000 a couple of years ago. Now it's not.
No, even with what for at the school level, what kids can do on a phone. I didn't have that. I didn't have that access to technology like 8 years ago.
No, you did not. Yeah, and I mean having the tools are great, but if you don't have a story to tell,
right,
then you just end up shooting a bunch of silliness or stuff that doesn't make sense. But you don't really figure that out until you do it a few times and screw up. I mean, a lot of filmmaking is screwing up and not screwing up next time.
Right. Well, and I know when Zoe went to Temple, so their film program, they believe that every person should have a chance to do what they want, and so they didn't require portfolios because they didn't want to limit the kids who went to schools that had no film program, and so that's how she just had to write an essay and stuff like that. But she's more of the behind the camera person like me. And you've got Safi in front of the camera, which I have no clue how you achieved that because
I put her in an outfit and said, "Go stand over there."
So, and then
hey, is she going to be with us on Saturday?
Sunday, maybe Sunday. You need her if you need her Saturday. I can bring her. I'll check with her. She's on spring break, and but I will check with her and see.
Well, if she came by for like 20 minutes, I'd love to get. Because she's supposed to be in the, I'm not I was gonna have her in the shuttle, but then she's in some of the shots in the battle and stuff like that. So that kind of leaves her. Maybe I could just use somebody else totally different.
Yeah.
Who's pushing the buttons, and then Dan's character, asks them a couple of questions, and kaboom.
Yeah, just tell Marty to take off Chewie's head. He can just be a Imperial trooper with.
Marty's going to come up like all over the place. He's going to be that guy. He'll be like a rebel soldier later on.
Well, I'm telling you, Marty's one of the people when it comes to getting stuff done. He's the one that keeps me on track.
Well, he's going to be doing that this weekend. He is. You were there when I told him that if you see something, I'd like him to, like, if we have the opportunity to be like the second unit director. If we're getting one scene here and we only need one camera, take the other camera and get these things, because I didn't know he did that, so
because I think it's because of the nature of his business. Like he is to say he's an awesome photographer is an understatement, and part of it is because he knows he gets one chance. At like you can't do a reshoot of a wet. I mean, I guess you could, but the bride might not be the happiest.
Yeah, because you're dealing with people that aren't necessarily grounded in reality that day. So
yep. Yeah, so that's the plus side to him. I mean, even when it comes to building costumes, like he keeps me on track.
Yeah,
he keeps me, So.
Well, I didn't realize he did that until he opened his mouth when we were trying to figure something out, and I'm like, that's a perfect idea. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Also, John, weren't you interested in doing something?
I'm kind of whatever you need me to be. I mean, kind of like Mike. I've always wanted to do filmmaking, but never had the whereabouts to do so. So
Saturday would have been a good experience because it's a controlled environment. Just green screen. Cameras are locked down. Nothing's moving around too much. What?
Yeah, I think Marty's more worried about space for Saturday.
We'll make it work. We just need the extra space so we can get the green spill off of C-3PO.
Yeah.
So we're not, so we don't have a green C-3PO.
that's the tough thing with that gold plating.
That's why we got to get him far enough away from the back. So.
Why George Lucas wanted a gold droid, I don't know.
Well, it's supposed to look like the Metropolis droid. That's what it was modeled upon.
I've been trying to match that paint color because I'm working on C-3PO for Safi too.
Oh, really? Okay.
It can't be C-3PO all the time. He needs a break. So.
Does he have the red arm?
He does. I actually printed the hand for him, but he does have the red arm.
Mm-hmm.
So. Where am I? I have a copper one right there.
Oh, okay.
copper one. So.
Yeah, we are gonna have to have a bar scene of some sort or whatever. Like the cantina on the Rebel base or something.
Yeah.
Just because we got to get the Twi'leks and all those smuggler guys in there, but also I'm looking at the footage from my VFX guy in Australia, and we're doing instead of 16:9, we're doing 21:9 or 25:9, which is CinemaScope. And we're actually going to shoot like that this weekend, and the stuff we've already shot, we'll just crop it. To match.
They changed it. It's funny now because on some shows they'll actually change the size on the television. You'll see.
Oh yeah, well, if you watch a Wes Anderson movie, it goes square, CinemaScope, 16:9, square, telephone, square. Just willy nilly. So it's not as for Star Wars, the cinematography is more classic, 1960s British films, but now stuff is just off the rails. You could do whatever, no one cares. But I want to play it serious. I want to, that's why all the jokes are, stuff they would say. It's not necessarily doing like American poop, fart humor or anything like that, just because it doesn't work. George Lucas tried that in the prequels, and
well, and as much as they complained about George Lucas's what he wrote for the first three, it held up. Like like if you go too far to what is pop culture, you've instantly put an expiration date on your movie.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what kept the movies. That's what kept the movies fresh, but that is also what helped our suspension of disbelief to believe this is a different place. It's got nothing to do with us. There's no Vietnam. There's no President Nixon. It's this other place, and it's easier to transport yourself there if you don't have all these, kind of MCU, little humor bits that are, like TikTok jokes or something that's happening now that no one will know about in 10 years,
Right.
And like you said, that immediately ages the movie and kind of craps it out. Like a lot of these movies, that's all like cell phone and text, and like half the dialogue is done in between people, texting or something like that. That's not going to last. That's not going to hold up in 10 years just because that was, 2013 and that's it. But so many movies out there, they don't have necessarily any technology in it or anything, or any contemporary humor. There's no Kim Kardashian jokes or something like that drill it into this time period. So like a movie To Catch a Thief, it's classic, and it could be Monaco, France at any time, because they're not putting so much attention on the technology or the cars and stuff like that. Like the movie To Catch a Thief, it's classic.
Sorry, I got a duplicate on it.
Monaco, France. I'm like, hey, that guy's copying me. Who the hell is that?
That's me trying to have too many windows open.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, because I see that if you look at films from 77 to 86 that you thought were so great, and then you go back to rewatch them.
Yeah.
And they don't. Those films, like, I hate to rewatch some things because I'd rather remember it how I remember it.
Yeah. Well, I tried to show my kids Wrath of Khan.
Oh, yeah.
That did not age well. I mean, we didn't get past the first 10 minutes with the thing with the ears and everything like that, because it's terrifying, but the way it was done, it was kind of hokey. It was, it kind of felt like the Star Trek TV show from the 90s.
Yep.
Like you're expecting them to cut to commercial any second, and
I tried Battlestar Galactica. So I loved Battlestar Galactica when I was a kid, and I tried rewatching it, and it was
not great.
No,
Dukes of Hazzard. Same. I revisited Dukes of Hazzard when I was like 30. I loved that show when I was 12, and I would watch it, as much as I could, and then I revisited that and like, oh my god, this is terrible. Like the walls are moving, and like when they walk out of a door or something like that, the wall goes gadoosh, because it's a set, you know, and,
Yeah.
and they're like, hey man, the wall moved. I don't care, you know.
Not to
Doesn't
mention
that
the
guidance
hubcaps flying
counselor
off
have
the
any
front.
more weed?
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping. Well, I can't wait to see the movie done. So since we have you here,
Mhm.
if everything goes well, what's your timeline for the movie?
Well, our VFX guy in Australia. Oh man, I got to talk to him at 6 a.m. Damn it. That means I got to get up at 5.
Don't do it next week. It'll be an hour earlier.
Oh, hey, you know, well, because he has to go to bed at like 10 o'clock for work, you know, because he gets up at like 5 o'clock in the morning Australia time, and there's an 18-hour time difference. So I catch him before he goes to bed. But he's been, you know, he made the decision. He's like, dude, we should go 25 by 1, you know, CinemaScope. And so he had to rebuild all the crap on the sides because it was 16 by 9. And now it's like this, and it's like night and day. So he's got like the first 5 minutes done. And this brought me to needing the extra aliens and stuff, because there's the shots of the girls walking around Tatooine getting followed by the spy guy, and there's no one in the village. You know, it's kind of depopulated. So I got to find. I might want some Tusken Raiders, a couple of smugglers, maybe, you know, people in robes, that kind of stuff, just to hang out. You know, because there's a couple like vendor carts and stuff like that you see in the, you know, everything's kind of flapping in the wind, but it's empty, you know. So you know, if I could shoot those elements soon, you know, on green screen and just send them to him. But that's cranking along. Plus he's looking at I sent him the shot that we did on the hill where this shuttle is supposed to explode, and he's starting to work on that.
Cool.
So he's working on 2 things at the same time. So us getting this footage, it's, you know, getting it out of the way before the girls age out, you know. Because I've been trying to get this off the ground for what, 3 years now, and
because
the COVID thing happened, and that put the
we
brakes
were like
on
6 months out from COVID planning it, and then COVID hit, because it was, I think the weekend we were going to do it was when all the lockdowns and shutdowns came.
Yep, it was like the 23rd or something like that.
Was it like March? Was it March?
It was March, yeah. Because I got sick in March.
Yeah.
Or end of February, because I was doing Fashion Week, and, you know, just had everybody, you know, all the Chinese photographers to come see the designers from there and stuff, and they're all over me, you know. And then like the week after that, they're like, hey, this COVID thing, and I was couch ridden the next week, and I think that's what that was. You know, so and I had some weird inner ear thing from it, you know, like I got the spins one evening, and I had to go to the hospital, and so that had to be that. And the doctor was like, oh, you just got some extra snot on your ear ball, and, you know, but I was, you know, there, it was like the gin spins, you know, after like 10 martinis and the room won't stay still. An important lesson when you're young, you know. You just need 1 or 2. So yeah, I think that's what that was. But as far as, you know, this project, the episode 2 is way different, just because, you know, the original was just me and my kids in my attic screwing around, you know, and then I'd get my neighbor to do a few lines and an actor friend to do a few lines, and then I'd, you know, I'd have a cosplayer call me and said, hey, you know, cosplayer so and so said you were doing this movie, can I be in it? Yeah, I'll come over to your house, bring my green screen sheet, and since you're wearing a helmet, I'll just have you walk around, do a few things, and you don't have to say anything, because we'll do that later. And all kinds of people came out of the woodwork, and so, you know, it went from a 6-minute project to show grandma to a 30-minute movie in the course of a couple of years.
That's what's really cool. I mean, and I don't know if I've said this to you before, but like, we get asked a lot, but it never gets followed through on.
Yeah.
like we get like tons of people, and then no one follows through. But I'm trying to think. I'm looking here when you stopped on Zoe's podcast. What year was that?
That was a while ago. That had to be like 2017, 18, maybe.
I'm trying to. One of the. I keep saying I'm going to put all of her podcasts on a spreadsheet, so I have lists of when the guests were on.
Mm-hmm.
It never happened. I said that when she was on episode like 75, and she's on episode like 230.
Oh my God. But now with the new one, it's live action. There's real people in a real space milling about, in mixed with what we're going to have green screen, because we don't have a Falcon set or anything like that, unless you guys are willing to build one.
Well, again, if I get off my butt, the winter, I have not got what I wanted to do done, but
people had to get back to work.
I know this work is cramping my style. I need the money. Here we go. This was 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh, really?
So yeah, it doesn't have. I can't get the exact date off of SoundCloud, but it was episode 105. And again, they don't do an episode every week, but they try to. But they're on episode like 220. So yeah, it was 3 years ago, according to this.
I think I have that recorded there somewhere. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I can always get you a copy if you want.
Oh, that'd be great. Because I do want to compile all the because I did a ton of interviews for this, because I found a bunch of different podcasts on Twitter. I think that's how I found you guys.
Probably.
And that led to the radio I do a radio show every month in Greenwich. That is, but I'm like the guest host, and it's Pamela Kuhn's Center Stage, and it's all like entertainers and musicians and stuff like that. And she's a semi-famous opera singer, but now she trains opera singers, but she has this radio show. And she has, the love of film and entertainment and music, but then her big thing is Star Wars. And when she heard about me, because she interviewed my wife for a clay art nonprofit she was working with, and then when she heard that I was doing this Han Solo thing, she had me on the show, and we just kind of hit it off. So she has me back like once or twice a month.
Well, that's cool. Yeah,
which is kind of.
It's funny because you did this one right before the new Solo movie.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That was it. That would have been. Would that have been? That seems like it was longer than 3 years ago.
Yeah, that 2018, right? The Solo movie.
Yeah. So it'll be 4. It'll be coming up on 4. Because on SoundCloud, I have to look on. I know iTunes gives me the exact date, but on my studio computer, I don't have iTunes on this one.
But yeah, as far as this weekend, I'm ready to go, and in the stuff that we already shot that I put together, it's kind of long, because we ad-libbed a lot, and I went back and added all that into the script, and it's a longer script now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like that reel you sent me.
Which is that?
The one you sent us. You sent us over. I think, did you email
the rough cut?
Yeah, the rough cut. Yeah, I like that. I thought that was.
It's got some music in there to kind of give you a flavor of what it's going to feel like.
Yeah. Now, speaking of music, Matt, are you planning to get it scored, or are you going to be cycling official Lucasfilm?
Well,
audio?
I'm gonna be looking for stuff that is royalty free, of course. I'm not because for the first one I just lifted from The Empire Strikes Back and picked it apart and put it where I thought it worked, because I was really familiar with the score. But of course, that the sticky wicket is that less people will see it because you can't put it in certain places because of the music that's on it. So I wanted to get an original composer, and I found a guy in Florida, or he found me, because he saw it and said, "Hey, I need a Han Solo voice for this project that we're doing." So I helped him out with that. And then he's gonna help us score it. He's in music school right now, and so he's got access to musicians and recording studios and all this crap. And plus, I'm also, I would like to just leave it to him, but if it's too much work, I'd also like to reach out to other composers to see if they have anything. I found one composer, some of his stuff is on that clip that I showed Mike. And his thing was, if you want to use it, go ahead. If you don't, that's cool. But the problem with Star Wars music is too many people try to attempt it with keyboards, and it comes off sounding like the Princess Bride music, which is kind of campy and soap opera like, and plus, these are from composers that aren't like orchestra composers, so they're leaving out like 20 instruments they need to be using that people forget about. They just think it's the main melody and maybe some low cellos and that there's a lot more to it. John Williams has like 88 instruments cranking at once. That's why you get so many cool nuances and like the low bass section, going that you hear under the melody. You don't realize you're hearing it, but it's really important, to set the mood, because when you hear those low violins, oh shit, what's around the corner, or those low bass cellos and stuff like that,
right?
Or the light piccolos, that you hear like that just do a tiny little thing, but it totally changes your mood on how you perceive what's happening. And that was the brilliance of George Lucas, wanting to harken back to a more classical era, when they did use big orchestras, because if they went for like a Blade Runner soundtrack or a Logan's Run kind of thing, where it's all a theremin going, woo, ooh, look, it's the future, woo, which is bullshit, because Star Wars, it's not in the future. It's in a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago. And all the shit is old. They've been flying around in ships for 10,000 years. It's very commonplace. It's like a horse, the fact that it floats, that it has anti-gravity. It's like a toaster. It's simple.
Right.
You
don't have your own anti-gravity car?
Yeah. But in movies like Logan's Run, everything is seen as shiny and new and, so modern, and it just comes off as stupid, which they shot in an abandoned mall in Texas, which is weird, but
I know.
May 3rd was the Star Wars Geek Girl episode. I looked it up on Apple Podcasts for you, Mike.
Oh, when was it?
May 3rd, 2018.
May 3rd, 2018. There you go.
A day that'll live in infamy.
Well, that's because when we were planning this shoot last time, that coincided with when Lucasfilm came here. So Lucasfilm came here, and like 2 weeks later, we were doing yours, and they got here the Wednesday after they were here was when everything started closing down.
Yeah. And that would have been great if we got something shot, just because I would have had something to do during the pandemic.
True.
What'd you do during the pandemic? Well, I made this freaking movie. How do you like that?
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe it's a good thing we waited. Who knows? But I'm glad we're doing it now, because like you said, a lot of people call you guys up and say, "Oh, we're gonna do this movie. It's gonna be great," and nothing happens because it's a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah.
Making movies is construction.
I completely understand that part. That's what John and I were talking about earlier, though. It's like my next costume possibly might be a biker scout.
Those are more comfortable.
Yeah, they can sit down.
If you go for Rebel Soldier, their stuff is really cushy looking.
I like the Empire stuff. I really do like the Empire stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't like the TIE pilot. That's an uncomfortable. It doesn't seem like it would be uncomfortable, but because of the hoses, your head's locked in. Same with the Royal Guard. I know some friends that do Royal Guard, and that's a nightmare too, because you can't turn your head at all.
No. No,
And
you're basically window dressing.
And depending on a couple of the guys, they have to modify their shoulder pads because it'll fall down on their shoulders and seal them off with no air.
Oh,
because you're in a big tube. So.
Oh, we lost another Imperial Guard.
Well, that's what that one guy
I think
said. He started wobbling, and someone came and picked his helmet off. So he ran big slits in his shoulder pads, so it wouldn't make like a perfect seal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So, what I'd like to do, and I already discussed this with you before, I think. But after this, there's those old World War II bunkers on the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
And that's basically what they used in Force Awakens was, a old British weapons depot.
Marty did a shoot there.
Huh?
Marty and Dan did a shoot there.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they have there's that. I don't know if is that no, that's not. That's in what's the one? There's another
Cape May.
But there's Cape May, but there's also one. Man, Cape.
I think there's one up north, like Tom's River or some garbage like.
Well, that's where I think they went. But there's also Cape Henlopen is a park. I think it's in Delaware. They have the battlements that used to have the big cannons sticking out of them.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what if you're allowed to film there or not because it's a park. I don't know how that works and stuff.
Parks are usually cool. You just got to call the guys, and it depends on the manager's mood. But like shooting in Terrytown, people don't like that because in the 80s they did a big movie in Terrytown and the place got destroyed. With 30 Mack trucks running around and destroying parking meters and because I called the police department to shoot something there, like, oh no. I'm like, no, it's just me with a camera. I swear to God.
I remember when they filmed Witness. The Amish almost boycotted a bunch of stores because of that.
Oh, really?
The Amish were not happy with that movie. And the store where Harrison Ford goes to the phone booth and calls, that store almost went out of business because of that. Because they filmed because the Amish were going to. It was an Amish grocery store.
Yeah.
My mom worked. That's how I met Harrison Ford. I got led in the back and got to meet Harrison Ford.
Oh man, still jealous.
You can still go to that phone booth. You could dress up like when you're in town. Where are you staying at this weekend?
Same place.
Where is it at? What's the name?
The
of it?
Comfort Inn in what's that town called on the river?
Intercourse? No, Columbia. Columbia?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'll have to draw you a map how to get to Intercourse, PA. That's where the phone booth is.
Oh, okay.
You can just recreate him in the phone booth.
Well, I got to get a haircut first, so
that's true.
and a straw hat. Then go beat up some townies.
Yeah. It's funny. We don't have sheriffs like that. The railroad station in Lancaster is modern, so they had to go to the town of Parksburg. They had a half rundown railroad station to use it because the Lancaster looks it's almost as modern as like Philadelphia's railroad station.
Yeah.
But they had and we don't have any like hick sheriffs in Lancaster County or anything. We just have state police. So it's funny that whole and it was filmed in Intercourse, but they couldn't call it Intercourse because that's doesn't sound Amish town name.
Yeah. It's I wish those people who play the cornhole game had the same idea.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't call it cornhole. Well, why is that? Well,
we
don't you want to get the bumper sticker that says I live a cornhole life? Oh God, no. Anywhere north of Maryland, it means something totally different. So
we ended it last week talking about buying a Millennium Falcon. Because you can buy that inflatable Millennium Falcon. Have you seen that yet? No. Oh my goodness! I'm gonna get more ads now.
Like a bouncy castle size?
Yes. Yes.
For the low price of $8,000, you can own your own Millennium Falcon.
Let me see if
I don't know, but I put an addition on my house if I had $8,000.
Here, well, it's on sale. I think it went up. Let me see if I can do this again. There it
Oh
is.
man. And it comes up with it has a blow up Chewie too.
Yeah, and an R2, I believe. Well, that might be extra,
Oh
because the blower is extra. For that price, you don't even get the blower.
man.
Let me see.
Yeah, I don't think we'd get away with using that.
Just go all out. Just give up and like. Okay, look,
this would be great in like a Spinal Tap type situation. Like we finished the set. You should come by and check it out. We're about to film.
Yeah.
Where the actors think they're actually getting to a Millennium Falcon set, and it's this. It's like, what are you talking about? No, it's great. It looks real on camera. Don't worry.
We'll fix it in post.
There you go. Look at that. Look at that. See?
That's nuts.
And it's at this place. It's $9,395.
Hello.
So,
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be doing that. So anyway. So John, we're just gonna see you Sunday, right?
Yeah, most likely, because I think I'm gonna devote Saturday to trying to finish my TK.
Okay.
Because past tonight, I'm probably gonna work on it a little bit before I head off to bed for work in the morning. But as soon as I get off tomorrow and Friday, that's pretty much all I'm gonna be doing.
Is it a clean Death Star TK? Is that what it is? Or okay.
Your hardest parts is going to be the upper legs and the forearms. That's your two hardest parts. That's the sizing issues.
Because the guys coming off the jump ships aren't dirty yet, so that might be a good place to use it.
If he gets it done. But don't worry,
Right.
I got a TK suit for you, so I don't want you to rush anything.
Yeah, don't kill yourself there.
Don't hurt yourself with an X-Acto knife.
And we're gonna have Zach again, who's perfectly willing to fall down and get blown up and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be using him a lot.
Puck might not mind falling down. We also have Scooter, who's coming with another biker scout.
Oh, okay.
So we have, and then we have this guy coming with. He's going to bring an officer. I forget his name now, but he's a new guy. He couldn't make it last time, so.
Oh, great.
He's going to bring a TK and an officer as well.
Okay. All right. That'd be awesome. Yeah. And I still have the snacks that nobody touched.
Well, good. We'll have some, and we'll tell people to bring food.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, it was fun. I mean, I think it was more fun than most of us expected, at least.
Well, editing it was fun.
Yeah.
And put it in, kind of making it work. I mean, it was a weird day just because we hadn't formally met. We didn't really formally know each other technically. And everyone was like, I don't know if I'm going to show up for this silly thing, or I don't know about this guy, and then, the meeting there at 7 a.m. was, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I'm this person. I'm that person. And then it was, okay, here we go. Get the camera up. Let's start shooting stuff. And then everybody kind of, jumping in where they like Ken taking over the whole slate business.
Yep.
I didn't ask him to do that. He just did it, or maybe Ned said something. I don't know. But just people jumping in and seeing, stuff. Oh, this has got to get done. I'll just go to do that. Or, hey, Matt, what do you think about this or that? Or should we shoot this? Yeah. And everybody really stepped up, so to speak.
And we should just, talk to Marty Saturday or before then. We should just get a list of shots, and we should just push everyone to get ready, because it's going to be cold, so people are going to want to get moving.
Yeah,
anyway.
I have a general list already pumped up that I finished after I talked to you guys of what we're shooting, but I'm going to put a more detailed sub list together too.
We should almost do not an impossible schedule, but we should let's get so we have, and just have someone watching the time. Look, we're so we know if we're behind or not before we realize we're behind.
Yeah. That person is called the assistant director.
Yeah,
the
so
AD, who nobody likes because he's always going, "Come on, let's go."
Well, I wish Zoe could be there, because when Zoe, her first movie she worked on, she got promoted to second director her first day, because she was telling the director what to do, not realizing that the director was also the writer.
Oh no!
But he was so happy with her, and she kept him on, because that girl, she gets that from her mother, man. She's like on it when it comes.
She's a taskmaster. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's a producer now of Temple's version of Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
So she's the only one that I guess stayed. So she's one of the producers of the show. She's the executive producer. I called her producer, and she said, "No, I'm the exec." She's in charge of making sure they have all their skits. I don't.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And where does that air on like their local TV
their
station?
Temple? It's just on their Temple YouTube. I think they do like 3 episodes a semester. It's just for like the film majors and stuff like that. It's like Saturday Night Live. Like I said, I don't get the humor. Like I think a lot of it's like you have to go to Temple to get the humor.
Okay.
But it's pretty cool. I mean, she complains about having meetings and people not showing up. So, she's good.
Yeah. Next, she'll be working in New York on SNL or something like that. Or
well, no, she goes to LA in August for her last semester.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she does. They call it a study abroad, but she studies right off. I think it's the Warner Brother lot.
Wow, that's cool.
So she wants to do the behind the camera stuff. So I wish her well.
Yeah,
for all those Lucasfilm. She's been putting in for all the Lucasfilm internships.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah.
We got to get somebody in there.
Well, it's funny because I'm used to school teachers. So when you go for your student teaching, you actually pay. You don't get paid, you pay to student teach. But the last Lucasfilm one she didn't get, but it was like $35 an hour for an internship plus a signing bonus to help you live. I was like, really, for an internship?
Yeah. Well, San Francisco, free lunch is only $60. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was. It was like $5,800 for signing plus the pay. So I was like, well, but experience.
Yeah.
But we just got to make more movies. We have a Tuscan movie planned for the summer too. It's filmed.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping after this that we go to a bunch of cons and fan film festivals with this that we could actually get enough attention and maybe cobble together a few bucks or get someone to sponsor us, i.e. Amazon, Netflix to make another thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be Star Wars themed, but and of course the dream would be if Lucasfilm would like, hey, besides the episodes we're doing for Disney, we want to do these side things and your budget's like $100,000. As opposed to, Book of Boba Fett, where each episode was probably $3 million.
Right. I still think they need a animal documentary based in the Star Wars universe.
An animal documentary about what all the animals are? Or?
Just imagine, like, I'm old, so we had the Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And they would just go and they'd be peeking over the thing. Oh, look, there's lions. And you'd have a whole show just on lions. Imagine just a whole show on banthas.
Yeah.
Or like the animals of Tatooine.
Like David Attenborough narrating.
Yeah, kind of like that. Or just have like
the bantha.
Yeah. Or just like have like almost like that old safari type, almost like the crocodile hunter / narrator kind. I don't know. It just because did you watch the they put that short on of just the environments where it was like a screensaver on Disney Plus?
No.
So if you go there and it's just like a aerial view of Tatooine an aerial view of Hoth. Did you see that, John?
Mm-hmm.
And you just glide over Hoth and you see Tauntauns running through the snow and you see AT-ATs walking and then it takes you to Tatooine and I forget where else it takes you.
Oh, I guess people just put it on as kind of like a screensaver or something.
Like a 10-minute, it's like a 10-minute video you just put on because me and Zoe just sat and watched the whole thing. But it's Tatooine, Hoth, and where else, John?
Oh boy.
Was it Kashyyyk? No, it wasn't Kashyyyk.
Was it Yavin?
It might have been Yavin with the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a cool short. It was all CGI, but that's what I'm saying. I think there's out there where people just want Star Wars in a less Star and less Wars way.
Well, also, on YouTube they have a lot of those ambient environments where it's just like some of the music mixed in with like the sounds of the city or whatever that it might be in, and it's like 10 hours. Or it could even be like the ambient of the cockpit, the Millennium Falcon cockpit with a little boop, boop, that goes off once in a while. There's a ton of that stuff out there.
I think they did a walkthrough of the Millennium Falcon, and they did a walkthrough of a Star Destroyer on that same video series.
Mm.
And then, I mean, that's they have the Darth Vader Yule log. Have you seen that? Where Darth Vader's burning on that fire. At the end of someone just made a loop of a Yule log. So Christmas, we put that on the TV as our Christmas log. It's just Darth Vader.
That's a little nuts. That's a little psycho.
Yeah, Star Wars biomes. If you're if you're interested,
biomes. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's if you get on Disney Plus, just look up Star Wars biomes.
So John, Sunday, if Ned, our DP, will be there, and he's got gear coming out of his ears. So if you got any questions or you want to see something, or if you're not in uniform, I could put the boom mic in your hand and you could boom a scene, with the microphone kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
If that's something you're interested in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If I don't know, I like being in front of the camera. I especially like being in armor. So Mike knows what I mean.
Yeah.
So
no, I want you guys to like being in armor in front of the camera. That's the whole idea,
Yeah, the November shoot. I mean, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a top 5 life experience.
No
for
shit,
me, of
really?
Just 100%. I mean,
and this guy, I couldn't be happy till I was sure he was home alive.
I didn't know you came all the way from Ohio. I was like, he came from where? What? No, I mean that's when stuff's clicking and you're feeling good about what you're doing, and then especially when you get to see the result, it all kind of makes sense and pays off and stuff, So I mean, even if it's simple as, I mean, hell, Daniel Craig played a stormtrooper. I mean, who doesn't want to do that?
Though I wouldn't want to wear that armor. I've watched guys put that armor on. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the First Order TK.
Yeah, because it has that chest plate is like magnetically held, and so it's not really firm. So if you move a certain way, the whole thing pops off.
Oh, really?
You got like a diaper, like the clones and stuff.
Well, plus you got to be so skinny in that thing. You got to be on like the crystal meth diet plan or something.
Yeah. The TK you can jump up a little bit and you'll be fine.
The guys coming off of the jump ships that I'm hoping to get, we'll use like a green screen behind them so we could build a ship around them and have the door come down and stuff. We could definitely use some shiny guys for that.
Yeah, well, if John's done, that's good, and you also have Marcus. Marcus's armor is like pristine too.
Yeah.
And
but if it's a little muddy out, it may not be pristine for long. But that's what battles are all about.
Well, I don't think we're gonna have to worry about it mud as much because that limestone just kind of compacts. It being slippery could be I wouldn't say an issue, but it just we got to watch what we do. That's all.
Yeah, we got to take it slow.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. I don't know what to talk about.
Well,
I'm just trying to keep it all in my head.
We've been doing this every Wednesday for I don't know why. I don't know how. It started as me testing this software for Zoe's podcast just to see how it works out. With the multiple guests and like we're learning to do different things. Like I can move people's pictures around, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And I can put you in here. So we're just kind of like learning to play. I don't like that one. There we go. Learning to play around with it. So
now, is there an audience are there
So
people?
we had like 127 the one time.
Uh-huh.
You know, so now we have 2 people watching. So I don't, but it does go on my YouTube feed.
Yeah.
So we had a weird start this week. So like we started and then stopped and then started. So we probably lost a lot of our people. But
okay, well, I mean, if we wanted to, once we get some more stuff edited, and there's a guy that that I was talking to on Facebook. He's a special effects guy in LA. And I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I was asking him like, hey, I got to do this shot with this shuttle blowing up, and I got a couple of ship models that my friend gave me, you know, that has the LED lights and everything, and I was gonna blow it up, you know, because this is like before I found the guy in Australia, he was, you know, he was giving me tips on, you know, what I could pack the thing with and all that stuff. And then I'd shoot it like 120 frames a second. So it would, you know, but cause you know, I've been sitting on this script since like 2018, you know, cause that VFX guy I was talking to in Las Vegas was like, oh, I don't want to work on the thing that's already done. I want to work on something new. So why don't you write a new episode? And I'm like, because all of a sudden my wheels are spinning. I'm like, what if, you know, because you know, plots in Star Warsville, especially when it concerns Han Solo and those guys, is pretty basic stuff. But as far as, you know, what they could get into and how, you know, that could go, you know, as far as story plots are concerned, you know, considering who they're surrounded by, you know. So I mean, easy for me anyway, just because I'm familiar with the whole, you know, I grew up with how that, you know, that kind of world works and who you might be dealing with and all that kind of stuff. But so, oh shoot, I forgot my point.
Well, we were talking about doing this regularly. The other thing,
no. I mean, I would get a trailer together because he's a guest at the Comic-Con in the Wicked Con or something like that in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
In April. And he's like, hey, I'm a guest, I'm doing a panel and stuff. If you want to give me a trailer or something, you want me to talk about it for a minute, you know.
Cool,
so that's the start, you know. That's that once people start talking about this stuff and they see a trailer or something that they like, I could use stuff from the first episode plus the stuff that we shot and make some kind of, you know.
Well, and what's nice with this software is I can then add it to your streams as well.
Yeah, but we can show it here when we're talking about it too. Well,
right. But I'm saying when we're talking here live, it can be streamed to your Facebook page live at the time we're doing it live. It can be
okay.
While we're doing it too, and then it remains on your Facebook page when you're done. Then there's a you build a whole show around it.
Yeah.
So, and I can have up to 10 people on this thing.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So,
I'm also trying to get Justin to play the communications officer in the beginning.
Oh, Justin Sonfeld.
Yeah, and his wife.
Yeah,
you know, because they got like 20 costumes, so they got to be able to.
He's now the leader of the 501st. He might be busy.
Huh?
He was just elected the leader of the 501st.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying, like so he's the leader of the worldwide 501st right now.
No
so
shit. That. Okay. All right.
Yeah. No. I mean, he won't be. It's not. But he's a good guy. I only know him from when I was building Safi's 000.
Oh, okay.
And then I know Jordan Hembrough. I'm friends with Jordan Hembrough, so that's kind of, we're like friends by knowing the same person, kind of.
Yeah. Well, I thought I think he's in New Jersey somewhere, so I thought that would be.
He's like right outside New York, because I think I see him pictures of him on his boat every once in a while.
Yeah. I thought I could just dip down to his house with a green screen and you know get the scene out the door, and plus talk to them about other characters they could possibly bring to it, because then we'd use them at the bunker in New Jersey. You know, you know, and you know, people like you and Marty, the more supporters of this that we have that are, you know, excited to make, you know, these stories, the, you know, as long as we're allowed to do it, great. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And if Lucasfilm comes knocking and says, "Hey, these are not bad. What if we gave you a couple of $100,000? What could you do with that?" Well,
Yeah. Hey, you never know.
exactly. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents.
All right. Yeah, well, we're gonna try to keep doing this every Wednesday until one of us get tired of doing it. So,
All right.
and if we build an audience, you know, I think, like I said, I think our numbers are going to be a little low tonight, but you know, the chat has been slow, but we have, like, we can turn. Let me see. I can turn chat on and put chat in our window here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if someone says, this is an old one, but if someone says something, I can put it up here. So we could do a live, if you wanted to do a live release of the trailer, you could have, you know, do interactive, whatever. Are you going to have a Wilhelm scream in it? That's the question.
No,
No,
I really want to stay away from that because it kills me. Because they use it in freaking everything, every toilet paper commercial, everything. And it was a funny joke 15 years ago, and I think after that it's kind of worn out its welcome. And is that like a particular guy, Lucasfilm or something like that?
No,
it's
pre-Lucasfilm. The
Really?
Wilhelm scream is pre-Lucasfilm. I used to know what it was because I used to teach a lesson on it to my students, but I forget what it was. But yeah, it's pre-Lucasfilm. I forget what it was from, but it's you know, there was some history to that scream for some reason.
Well, why is it called the Wilhelm scream then?
I don't know. If Ken was here, I bet you he would know.
Yeah.
Because Ken, he's like a walking encyclopedia of, you know.
I'd be interested to find out what that is. No, but I see it everywhere, and it's in every MCU movie and it's in everything, you know.
Yeah.
So I would like to avoid it if I can.
Yeah, here, just this here says it's a stock sound effect that has been used in over 400 films and television shows and counting. That's here. Beginning in 1951. I'm just going by what Wikipedia says.
Really?
Sound effect number. It's Wilhelm scream is a series of sound effects recorded in 1951 during distant drums. There we go. So
I didn't hear it in Saving Private Ryan. I don't think. I think I would have noticed it.
Yeah,
would have taken me out of the scene though. It's
yeah.
Because usually it's used as a comedy thing, like you know, like in a Ryan Reynolds explosion of some sort, you know, where it's totally not serious at all.
Yeah. I don't know. So that's us for tonight, man. It's like 11:17, which is early for John and I. But
yeah,
but John has armor to build, and
good luck, man.
It'll definitely be a trip, and see how much I can get done tonight before turning in.
Yeah, it'll go. It'll, you know, just don't cut tired and don't work tired. You know,
right?
Don't wake up and realize you made your arms too short, or put both of your left calves on the same one.
Don't put two left feet on.
Yeah. It's you know, you'll be fine. But so if we have, it says we have 2 people on YouTube watching us and 1 person on Facebook. So we are all going to say goodnight. So that was Matt from Han Solo Chronicles, John, Stormtrooper from Han Solo Chronicles, and me. I guess I'm a Stormtrooper. I'm a Sand Trooper from Chronicles. So
among other things, we'll add to the list. Yeah.
Yeah. You missed some of my stories. You have to. But yeah. Anyway, I tried to get Marty on, but I don't know if I might have sent him the bad link. So.
Oh, okay.
We'll get him on. But all right, guys, Bryce. Have a good night. I'm gonna.
Okay.
Now I made it through the weather. Better days are gonna get better. I'm so happy.